This is the homework for closure 162, 163, 164, and 167. For 162, you need to write the coordinates of points A through F. So on a coordinate plane, you have the x-axis and the y-axis. To the right on the x-axis is positive, to the left negative, up on the y-axis, y, down, negative. So for A, it's -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and then +1, +2, +3 on the y. So it's -5 on the x and +3 on the y. Let's do F, -1, -2 on the x, and +1 on the y. And one more, B is +1, +2, +3 on the x, and +1, +2, +3, +4 on the y. So the ordered pair for B is 3, 4. So x, the x term goes first, and then the y. For 63, you were given the following points, and you need to label it on the coordinate plane. So you were given -2, -1 for I, so you had to plot that, -1, -2 on the x, -1 on the y, and there's I. G is +1, +2, +3 on the x, +1, +2 on the y. For 164, Ralph and Alphonse are shooting marbles. Ralph has 5 more marbles than Alphonse, and they have a total of 73 marbles. How many marbles does each of them have? So let R equal Ralph and A equal Alphonse. And we know here that they have a total of 73 marbles. So Ralph and Alphonse have a total of 73 marbles. So we could say that R, Ralph, plus A, Alphonse, equals 73. Next, we know that Ralph has 5 more marbles than Alphonse. So we know Ralph has more than Alphonse. So we're going to write it that it's how many marbles Alphonse has plus 5 more. That's how many Ralph has. So it's Alphonse plus 5. And then we're going to add Alphonse's, which equals 73. Now we're going to combine like terms. And here we have A and A. So A plus A equals 2A. And we have +5, so +5. So 2A plus 5 equals 73. Now we're going to do inverse operations to isolate the variable, get A by itself. And first we're going to do inverse property of addition, which would be subtraction. So we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. This creates a 0 pair. +5 and -5 equals 0. What you do to one side, you do to the other. 73 minus 5 equals 68. Now we have 2A equals 68. Here's multiplication. Inverse property of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. And the reason why we divide by 2 is because this creates the giant 1. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. And 1 multiplied by A, that's the identity property of multiplication. 1 multiplied by A is going to equal A. So now we have 68 divided by 2 equals 34. So Alphonse has 34 marbles. So remember, Ralph plus Alphonse equals 73. And we know that Alphonse has 34. So we're going to plug that in for A. So Ralph plus 34 equals 73. Inverse property of addition is subtraction. So we subtract 34 from both sides. This is a 0 pair. And we have Ralph equals 39. So we know that Ralph has 39 marbles. Now I want to check to make sure that it's correct. Again, Ralph plus Alphonse equals 73. And Ralph has 39, Alphonse has 34. That should equal 73 when we take the sum of these two. Well, 39 plus 34 does equal 73, and 73 equals 73. That is true, so it is correct. In 167, we were given figures 2, 3, and 4, and you needed to draw figures 1 and 5. So I colored the figures in to show a pattern, and you can see that we have 1 here, 2 greens, 3 greens, so I knew that off of this rectangle here I would have 4 greens. And you can see that there's this blue that's a constant. There's always just one blue square on the top. And then we look at the rectangle. This is a 2 by 3. This is a 2 by 4, 2 by 5. So this must be a 2 by 6. And going the other way, 2 by 6, 2 by 5, 2 by 4, 2 by 3. This one would be a 2 by 2. And you can see for the green, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then for figure 1, 0, so there's no green. For part A, we needed to figure how many tiles were in each figure. So I knew that there were 8 tiles in 2, 11 in 3, 14 in 4, and I saw a pattern that they're increasing by 3, so 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 3 is 14, plus 3 is 17. And you can do it the opposite. 11 minus 3 is 8, 8 minus 3 is 5. Or you can go ahead and just count them. So for part B, the pattern is changing by adding 3 more tiles than the figure before it. For part C, we needed to figure out how many tiles were in figure 6 and in figure 10. I used a rule to figure out how many tiles were in figure 6 and 10, but you could have just continued the pattern of adding 3 more tiles to each figure and all the way up until you get to the 10th figure. But when we get into problems where it's saying find the 57th figure or 139th figure, it would not be practical to count all the way up to that figure. So eventually you're going to want to figure out a rule for that.